Hello, welcome to the second volume of Windows in the Greek New Testament. I want to talk to you in this first video in general about word studies, which to some extent, especially in this second volume, is what I will be bringing to you. And few things are as exciting, especially to preachers, in the study of the Greek New Testament as word studies. They bring vivid pictures, often wonderful stories of how a particular word is used and applied in the Greek New Testament and in the ancient world in general. I want first to just point out several basic kinds of word studies, not so you'll see what I'm going to be doing in this, but so you will understand that you can do your own Greek word studies. You do not have to be as fluent as you would like to be, and I would like you to be, in the language to do word studies. In fact, if you can just get a basic grasp of what the language is and what it represents, and in fact a basic grasp of the New Testament and how words are translated from Greek, ancient Greek, Koine Greek, into modern English or whatever other language, you can do your own word studies. You can in fact get some very good books on word studies, like Vine's Expository Dictionary of the New Testament. I think every preacher ought to have that in your library. I've got a number of other generalized word study books. The most exhaustive word study book is, how many volume? 9-volume Expository Dictionary of the New Testament, or Kittel, who was the primary editor of Gerhard Kittel of these volumes, so we call it Kittel. And Kittel has every facet of the study in any word, but you can of course look at how the word was used generally in the ancient world. That would be pretty important in understanding how that word is used. I actually have a volume that I cannot lay my hand on, an eye on right now, in my library that is strictly the usage of words in the papyra, which are contemporary writings to the New Testament. You can also look to see how a word was translated or used in the Greek Old Testament and what Hebrew word it came from, and get another sense of the perspective of the language. You could look at the etymology of a word, how it progressed to the place that it was in the New Testament, and how of course it was used in Attic or any of the more ancient classical Greek dialects. And there's some fruitful study in that. And you can compare one similar or maybe synonym with another. One word that's very similar in its use, and why is that word used in this place and another word used in that place. And I would give you a warning in this video. Greek word studies are often overplayed. You hear someone say, well, in the original language, this word means. Well, that's what your translation has already given people in the pew. That's what you already have in translation. Yes, there are various ways that any word from one language to another can be translated. It's hard to nail down a specific "this means," and so you have different translations. But it is much better to say this word in this situation was used this way, and allow the person listening to hear and understand how that word was used, rather than simply saying, this word means such and such. That's almost entirely true of word studies. You wouldn't be doing the word study, presenting it to other people, if the meaning was hard and fast, if there weren't variances in the meaning of a word. I hope these word studies, primarily word studies, though in the first volume about half of them were grammatical studies rather than simply word studies, but in these latter ones, most of them that I have planned to make are word studies. I hope they delight you in ways to present the truth of the New Testament to people who are seeking earnestly to understand it, and give yourself and them a glimpse into the New Testament world through the study of the ancient words that are translated into our New Testament.